You are in America in 1959, where every road sparkles with chrome, where tail fins rise high as if trying to touch the sky. And amid that explosion, a name once thought to belong only to middle-aged drivers suddenly made all of Detroit take notice. The Pontiac Bonneville Safari, a station wagon. Yet, it carried the aura of a Cadillac and the power of a street racer. Beneath the hood was a mighty engine that made it one of the most powerful wagons in America at the time. Today, we'll uncover the truths behind this car that you may have never heard before. In the early 1950s, Pontiac was gradually becoming a forgotten name within General Motors' massive ecosystem. While Chevrolet catered to the masses, Oldsmobile targeted the middle class, and Cadillac represented ultimate luxury, Pontiac was lost in between, labeled as a car for older people. Sales declined, its image faded, and even many GM dealers saw Pontiac as a temporary choice. Then in 1956, General Motors appointed a young, energetic man named Seaman Bunky Cudson to take charge. He refused to accept that Pontiac would remain an anonymous middle child. Cudson saw the buried athletic potential beneath all that chrome and excessive conservatism. He recruited a team of young engineers, including John Z. DeLorean, who would later become an automotive legend, and gave them a bold mission to make Pontiac desirable and powerful once again. The result was a brand new philosophy-wide track Pontiac. The car was low, long, and wide, with an assertively stretched front end and a boldly squared-off rear. Altogether, it looked like a yacht gliding down the road. Dual headlights, a full-width chrome grille, and pronounced body creases created a look that was both strong and graceful. From the rear, its squared tail with horizontal tail lights became Pontiac's unmistakable signature that year. It projected confidence, modernity, and individuality compared to the sharp fins of Cadillacs or Chevrolet Impalas. Pontiac was no longer imitating anyone. It had developed its own design language where every detail evoked strength and freedom. The chrome strip running along both sides of the body shone like a metallic brush stroke, reflecting the afternoon sun on Route 66. The long hood, wraparound windshield, and slim pillars gave the large body a surprisingly light appearance. Stepping into the cabin of the Bonneville Safari, you'd feel as if you had just left the city streets and entered a mobile living room in the space age. Every detail was crafted to convey elegance and sophistication, something few expected to find inside a station wagon. Two-tone vinyl seats with thick stitched seams, a gleaming chrome dashboard that reflected light like a mirror. Pontiac's signature deep-dish two-spoke steering wheel curved toward the driver, resembling an airplane's yoke. Behind it, the cockpit-style instrument cluster glowed with soft blue lighting reminiscent of a jet's control panel. Pontiac spared no expense, bringing the finest amenities into the Safari. The Wunderbar automatic Seek radio, dual heaters, optional air conditioning, and power seats. Features usually reserved for Cadillacs or Oldsmobile 90s 8s. The spacious rear seating area, large windows, and wide visibility made passengers feel as if they were sitting in an observation lounge. The rear section was another design masterpiece. The back seat could fold flat, transforming the cargo area into a long, smooth surface like a wooden deck, large enough to carry luggage for an extended road trip. When the tailgate opened, the gleaming chrome reflected the sunlight, like a gentle yet proud greeting. Beneath the long, gleaming hood of the Bonneville Safari lay something that made all of Detroit turn its head: a 389 cubic in V8 engine, the same heart that powered all Bonneville models. But in the Safari, it was tuned to be both powerful and refined. The standard configuration produced 300 horsepower, enough to make this nearly 300 lb wagon accelerate like a sports sedan. But with the tri-power option consisting of 3 synchronized Rochester 2G carburetors, output jumped to 345 horsepower, a figure that stunned the automotive press of the time. When all 3 carburetors opened wide, the sound that erupted was no longer an engine note. It was a mechanical symphony, deep and thunderous, turning heads on every street corner. With its 4-speed hydromatic automatic transmission, the Safari delivered smooth yet potent performance. A single press of the accelerator sent the V8 roaring to life, propelling the nearly 18 FT long body forward with effortless strength and exhilarating grace. It was a sensation that rivals like the Ford Country Squire or Dodge Custom Sierra could never replicate. Yet all that power would be meaningless if the chassis couldn't keep up. That's when Pontiac played its ace, the wide track system. A simple yet revolutionary change. The distance between the wheels was widened by nearly 5 in, lowering the center of gravity and setting a new handling standard. For the first time, a full-size station wagon could corner with the confidence of a sports coupe. Beneath the chrome-plated steel body was a sophisticated structure, an independent front suspension with coil springs and hydraulic shock absorbers that smoothed out highway bumps, while the semi-floating rear axle ensured perfect balance in turns. Large drum brakes with optional vacuum assist provided firm, precise stopping power. Out on Route 66, the Safari didn't sway or lean like other wagons. It hugged the road as if bolted to it. Test drivers of the era recalled that holding the Safari's steering wheel felt like driving a giant Bonneville coupe, not a wagon. What made Pontiac remarkable was its willingness to bring sports car technology into a family car's body. They didn't market the Safari as a muscle car, but anyone who drove it knew it was a dual-personality machine. Gentle on city streets, yet ready to roar like a beast at the touch of the throttle. When the Bonneville Safari hit the market, its starting price of nearly $3.5 made many people raise their eyebrows. A wagon that costs almost as much as a Cadillac. But Pontiac had no intention of pleasing the masses. They aimed for people of success, those who needed to carry their families, but also wanted to make a statement on the boulevard. And something unexpected happened. Instead of being dismissed as overpriced, the Safari attracted exactly the kind of customers Pontiac was after. Buyers who wanted practicality, but also a car that made the neighbors stop and stare. The press was swept up in the excitement too. Motor Trend called the Safari the most beautiful station wagon ever built. Car Life described it as the perfect combination of power, smoothness, and luxury. Even local newspapers ran special features about the family car that made Detroit nervous. However, not everyone was ready to embrace the idea. Some middle-class Americans at the time felt the Safari was too beautiful just to be used for grocery shopping. Many housewives saw it as a symbol of extravagance, while their husbands smiled because they knew that beneath all that shining chrome was a 345 horsepower machine any driver could fall in love with. Pontiac wasn't seeking consensus. They wanted a reaction, admiration, or controversy as long as people were talking about them. And they succeeded. In its first year, more than 17, Zuri Bonneville Safaris were sold. Modest compared to Chevrolet sedans, but a major leap in the luxury wagon segment. More importantly, it proved that Pontiac had shed its image as a car for older people and transformed into a brand of confidence and style. Looking back with all the praise, breathtaking beauty, and impressive power, everyone thought the Pontiac Bonneville Safari would continue to dominate the 1960s. But after just 1 year, the name Bonneville Safari suddenly disappeared from Pontiac's lineup. And that was the biggest shock of all. On paper, General Motors explained it as a strategic product adjustment. Starting in 1960, Pontiac wanted to unify its wagon lineup under the Catalina and Star Chief series to simplify production and reduce costs. But behind that decision lay a far more complex truth. Although beloved, the Bonneville Safari was simply too expensive to maintain. Its luxurious interior, thick layers of chrome, premium materials, and unique wide-track chassis drove production costs far beyond what the mainstream wagon market could bear. Pontiac knew they had built a stunning car, but one so far ahead of its time that the market wasn't ready for it. And so, in just one sales season, the Safari became Detroit's shooting star. Brilliant, then gone in silence. Yet its influence never faded. The wide-track philosophy, the bold design language, and the sporting spirit of the Safari lived on in later Pontiac models, from the Catalina and Grand Prix to the legendary GTO. More than 6 decades have passed, yet every time a 1959 Bonneville Safari appears at a classic car show, the crowd seems transported back to an era when Detroit still knew how to dream. The glint of chrome under the sun, the heavy, satisfying sound of its doors closing, and the proud wide-track stance all bring back the moment when Pontiac stood as a symbol of American strength and freedom. Today, the 1959 Safari is considered one of the most collectible Pontiacs ever made. Restorers are always on the hunt for examples with original wide-track frames, two-tone interiors, and the legendary tri-power engine. In the classic car market, a fully restored Safari can fetch over $100, proof of the enduring allure of this car ahead of its time. Films set in the 1950s and 1960s, such as American Graffiti or Mad Men, often feature the Safari, evoking the peaceful yet powerful beauty of the post-war years. In retro music videos and commercials, the Safari appears as an icon of classic American life, when cars were not just transportation, but witnesses to a generation that believed every road led to freedom. Today's collector community even hosts dedicated vintage wagon exhibitions where safaris are celebrated as yachts on 4 wheels. For them, these cars are not mere showpieces, but a way to preserve the daring creative spirit that Pontiac once embodied. And how ironic. The wagon, once dismissed as too luxurious for grocery runs, is now revered as a timeless symbol of elegance. A reminder that sometimes things ahead of their time simply need time to be understood. Now, I want to hear your story. If you had the chance to own a vintage Safari, would you restore it to its original form, or turn it into a street custom that reflects your own style? And what do you think? Was Pontiac right to build a wagon so luxurious it stunned all of Detroit? Share your thoughts below in the comments. I read every word, every memory, because it's your stories that bring life back to the machines that have long fallen silent. And if you love forgotten mechanical legends like this one, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next journey where those crazy yet beautiful cars are still waiting to have their stories told. See you next time.